Welcome to the next movie Monday. Today we watched Men in Black 3. We saw the first two for the 300 movie challenge, and now we are seeing the third one. And funny enough, I actually saw this in theaters, and I honestly do not remember if I saw it before or after the first two. Um, okay, so I remember seeing it in theaters, and I remember thinking it was like overall decent, but like thinking back, I'm like, I remember nothing about this movie. Like I'm thinking, okay, I remembered, I knew. See, I didn't even remember there was like time travel. I like totally forgot that.
But that's the central
I
part.
know, and then the only thing I really remembered was I remembered the climax had something to do with like a rocket. Like
Mm.
I remembered the image of them like on like the platform or whatever around the rocket. But for some reason, the image that I had in my head of the villain is wrong. So like
Really?
I swore I'm like oh yeah I remember what the villain looked like, but then I saw him and I'm like that's not what I thought he looked like. So now I'm like what was I thinking in my head? What did I confuse this with as like someone else? So yeah, I think okay wait hold on let me check something. So the first Men in Black was 97,
It it was sometime in the 90s. I don't
and I
remember
know the
the
first
exact.
one was 97, but when was the second one? Second one was 2002. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's longer than I expected, I was thinking. But I still think probably the biggest problem with this movie is that it just should have come out earlier.
Yeah.
Because this came out in 2012, and I'm like, we, we when we saw the first two Men in Black movies, it was, I don't know, 2 years ago or something at most,
Mm.
and like, I felt when they starting this movie, I felt like I'd like forgotten like so much. And so I'm thinking, like, wait, but like anyone else, like they're coming into this, when this first came out, like 10 years since they saw the previous one, like, because the movie
Yeah.
really just kind of drops you in to everything, and
Yeah.
it's like I feel like
Yeah.
this would have worked a lot better if it was like really fresh off of the other two, because then I don't know. Again, it's
At
like,
least it's like continuing something as
yeah,
opposed to having like 3 years, there's the sequel, then just, or no, not 3 years,
5 years,
5 years, then there's the
10 years,
sequel,
after the
and
third.
then it's like nothing. It's dead silence, and then 10 years later, kaboom! There's a third one, and it's
Yeah,
like, yay, we
because
should go see it. But then you sit in and you're like, wait, what's happening?
yeah, because I do think from what I
Yeah.
do remember, it fits the tone quite well of the first two, and also I do think as sort of like a third movie in terms of the plot of like, hey, let's actually get into kind of like Kay's backstory and have a sort of thing about that. Like, I think that works as like
Yeah.
as a third movie. And I also feel like this does feel kind of like a product of the times in terms of its kind of goofiness.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. I don't know. I don't know if that's purely it, but especially in like the first half, I just didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah. I didn't really
Yeah.
like the beginning part that much, but I think at by the time Jay actually like jumps back into the past and I was like, okay, I can get behind this now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think once he jumped into the past, then it kind of started picking up momentum and stuff like that.
Man, like I was sitting here wondering like, why does Kay look so much older now? It's been 10 years since the
Yeah.
last movie, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this also kind of makes this a little weird. But yeah, I just felt like a lot of the humor, again, early on especially, was just like not funny. And
Yeah.
granted, I've never thought the first two were like amazing films. I'd probably, if we did do the numeric rating system back then, I'd probably give them sevens, you know.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was legitimately after like the first half of this movie, I'm like, is this getting like a 5 or maybe even a 4? Like, wow, like this is not very good. But especially later on, and I do think the sort of emotional climax, kind of near the end, I do think that works quite well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Especially if you think of it again, if you take these as like you kind of watch the first and the second and the third, and kind of as thinking of it as here is the Men in Black trilogy, and like that's it, because International is apparently terrible and nobody likes it. Then like I think that works in this sense and kind of what they're going for, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
So
think so.
that kind of elevates it a bit for me, and also the well, I forgot his name. The time,
Griffin?
yeah, he's just kind of weird in an entertaining way.
Yeah.
I kind of wish there was more of him, but yeah, they need the focus on JNK, but still. That was something.
I found it kind of hilarious when he made the okay joke, though. Because I was like, where is... Because when he was saying that he called all guys K and then all girls O, and I was like, he's gonna make the okay joke, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, if there's any more specific thing to go on. I guess, well, the villain himself is just kind of there.
For a bit, I thought he was Tim Curry, but then I looked him up and I was like, that's not Tim Curry. Because
No.
of his voice in the beginning, I was
Okay,
like...
the voice, yeah, but, like, he definitely does not look like him.
No, he's not. That's why I was like, that doesn't look like Tim Curry, but it kind of sounds like him. He's just a, I guess, voice doppelganger.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had some, like, effect with his voice to make it kind of sound a little weird, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, as, like, a character for a villain, I mean, he's not, like, terrible, he's just not super interesting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, from what I remember, the other two movies didn't have, like, super interesting villains either. I think they were fine, but they weren't, you know. So, yeah. I don't know, and then, yeah, I think the time travel stuff... I know some people just, like... Time travel is kind of one of those things, like, some people, like, really like it, some people hate it. I generally like it more than I don't, unless it's, like, handled really poorly. And I think, again, this handles it fine. So... Yeah, I guess, especially at the end of it and how it kind of comes together, I think, yeah, this, you know, it works for what it is. It's not like I watch this and I'm like, wow, they ruined the series or anything. Like, I'm not feeling that at all, so...
No, the next movie does that.
Yeah, I've heard International is really bad. But I have no desire to see it, so we are not going to do that.
Nope. All I remember is, like, the commercials that came up on Instagram, because it focused mainly on the two actors from Marvel, Thor and
Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Valkyrie. It focused mainly on, like, their, like, one-liners that, like, is like, oh, look, it's funny. They're referencing the fact that they act together in Marvel and stuff like that.
Yeah, but, like...
It's kind of... But then, like, some people were like, if you have to rely on those kinds of jokes, what kind
And
of...
it's not really worth it. It's not really Men in Black, then.
Yeah.
Well, he's also just the fact that it's like, hey, we're just doing, like, the same story again, but with different characters. It's like the first one. That's what it seems like, anyway. And it's like, okay, why do I care, then? I don't. And I remember seeing some video about someone kind of critiquing a problem with International, and I think it was something like... I'm gonna forget, but I believe, basically, like, the main character in International, like, there's basically, like, no reason for her to be there in the story.
Oh.
So it's just, like, stuff happens around her, and she's like, oh, and it's like, but there's no actual, like, investment of, like, what she wants to do or anything. So it's like, okay,
Oh.
what's the point? Yeah, so, whatever. But I think this works. Again, I don't think,
Yeah.
again, I've said that, I'll say this again, I don't think any of the films, Men in Black films, are masterpieces, but if you want just kind of, you know, silly fun movie for what it is, and maybe you've, you know, watched the first two, but then you're like, oh, they made a third one in 2012, that has to be terrible. No. Again, you might not like some of it or whatever, but I don't think you're gonna hate it.
Just watch it in succession, because
Yeah.
otherwise you're gonna forget some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like there isn't too much to say about this. I don't know. Anything else anyone can think? Anything else anyone can think of?
I didn't expect to see the Apollo 11 mission in here.
No, or, Baby J is really cute.
Yeah, I don't know why I, like, didn't put that together. Even when they're like, Cape Canaveral, 1969, I was like, huh, that's weird. That's where they launched space shuttles. And then I was like, oh, wait. I, like, totally forgot.
There was even, like, the anniversary recently, too.
Yeah, I'm a good astronomy major. Yeah.
it's reading
I
time.
guess. I feel like it's said very little, but again, there's not like some deep meaning behind the movie or anything. It's, it's Men in Black 3. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, compared to the last movie we saw.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Tone is very minutely different.
Just a little bit.
Oh my god, I had a horrible image.
What?
Like Will Smith as John Coffey.
Oh my god. That would not work.
No,
Yeah.
it'd be so terrible. Oh god. Okay. Who wants to go first?
Have I settled on a number yet? I don't know.
I'm like going between like two numbers.
Okay. Well, I guess I can go then because I feel like I'm fairly confident.
Okay.
As I said, like, especially for like the first half, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and I was thinking like 5 or maybe even a 4 if it continues to go downhill. But especially because the end stuff and with the emotional climax with J and K and just general how I feel it does work as a third movie in the series. It did bump it up a bit for me, so I'm going to give it a 6. As a movie that, it had some things that were annoying me about it, but overall, it works for what it is. Worth the time. And I'd say it's high-ish 6 at this point. But, yeah, that's kind of where I stand.
Okay. I kind of also agree with like a highish 6. Where the beginning is a little bit hard to get through and stuff, but it all comes full circle in the end and stuff like that. I think if you like have a marathon where you're watching all 3 in succession,
Oh yeah.
probably a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I think that'd work. Again, I think that'd work better. Especially because all 3 of them are, like, pretty short. I think all of them are, like, an hour and a half. So,
Yeah.
You'd be able to finish it in like
one
maybe...
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. One Lord of the Rings. Like, oh my god.
There you go. To anyone watching, if they haven't watched any of them, just watch them in succession. That's the best way to do it.
You got through Lord of the Rings, you can get through this. Same reasons, also a 6. I don't know how they could have like made the beginning better, unless they just like kind of shove you right in the middle of the time travel part, or if they had a better introduction. I just didn't like the introduction with Boris.
Yeah.
That just felt kind of weird.
Especially since at first I was like, oh, maybe it's one of the villains like we had known like previously and stuff like that. But then when they were like Boris the animal, I was like, that is not ringing any bells whatsoever.
Yeah, so there's that, and this is kind of random. And then like just the sort of mission with like in like the Chinese restaurant or whatever, like
Yeah.
it just felt like, what was the point of that? It
I
didn't
don't
do
think
anything.
there was.
So yeah, and again, like if maybe you had some like you actually got some new character stuff with them from that, or it was actually like really funny, and it wasn't. I feel like they kind of tried to be like, oh look, this is like character with Jay or whatever, but like where he's like he's like a curmudgeon grumpy person. It's like, yeah, but we knew that already. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird, and again, I just didn't think this stuff was very funny until the time travel stuff. But yeah, as I said repeatedly now, ultimately it comes together to overall be positive.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have our Christmas movie coming up, I guess.
Which one of these movies will it be?
Yeah, considering
Oh, boy.
this, I believe, this next one goes up the 23rd, I want to say? Yep, next Monday
Yep.
after it's the 23rd, so this is basically Christmas.
Da-da-da.
What are we getting as our wonderful Christmas movie? I really hope it's a certain one of these, because it's so, like, not Christmas, it would be amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Actually, a lot of these are so not Christmas, but this... I'll just shut up and let's see what we get. We get...
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun,
wait,
dun,
I
dun,
think
dun, dun,
think
dun, dun, dun,
it's
dun,
Incredibles 2.
Oh!
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's the closest, actually, Christmas movie.
No, Prince of
Technically.
Egypt would be closest.
Prince of Egypt.
Because actual, like... Well, no, actual, like, God stuff.
Biblical
Yeah.
stuff. It's okay. I mean,
Okay. I mean, this is the family movie.
this at least has the right tone
Uh,
Uh,
sure.
compared to some of these other
Yeah.
ones.
Oh, actually, well, okay. Speaking of the other ones, the replacement for Men in Black 3 was The Usual Suspects, and I put this on here as one of those like, hey, this is a film that a lot of people say they really like, and maybe I'll see it. I don't really know anything about it, and we may end up hating it. I don't know. We'll find out.
Sorry.
We'll find out. But that's what we replaced this with. But yeah, we're not seeing that now. We're seeing Incredibles 2 now. Or at least you both. Well, Tara, you said before that like you saw like a little bit of the beginning.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the beginning. I think like the first 20, maybe not 20, like the first bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I
so-
know nothing, so.
Yeah. Well,
Awesome.
you'll find out.
Ooh.
So next week is Incredibles 2.
Yep.
And week after that, you'll find out.
Yep.
So, alright. What's that? Goodbye.
Bye.
Farewell.